locations in Mooresville and Cornelius.
Have your say.
Trusting the government to fix anything is a joke.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't even trust the banks with our money.
This is WSIC News Talk Now. The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
I need some real talk. Oh, I need some real talk. Give me some of that real talk.
Today's Real Talk, the show focused on North Carolina real estate. Justin Ckezepis alongside Claudia Ogrizek of Compass Real Estate. A day that I would say 9 times out of 10, something funny just happens from the jump of the show. But it's one of those days where, though we're driving around in our cars on our roads with significant percentage of working stoplights, running water, power, internet, all of the things we've become accustomed to on our day-to-day lives, and that's our area right now. But there is an area very close by. Physically, we're connected in many, many ways, which some of those ways we'll talk about throughout the day, particularly Western North Carolina right now and what they're seeing or what they have seen in the past 3-4 days. And it's amazing to where you go into a weekend, arguably you had plans, you were doing things, activities, but in an instant, in just one instant, your whole life can change. And that happened here in North Carolina and Western North Carolina, particularly with the flooding and the rain and the hurricane that came through and has, for lack of a better way to describe it, wiped out a lot of historic and long-standing places and structures. And along with that, many, many, many lives, memories, and just well-beings of people just completely uprooted in a single instance. And you take pause and you just realize it can happen to you anywhere. It kind of shows you, right? That's almost what it can be like.
Yes, I have a theme in my life, and I try to remind myself as often as I can to never, ever take anything for granted because, yes, we never know what, not even tomorrow, what today brings. So it is true that we have to, enjoy life, do what we can, be good, but also remember and keep in mind that anything can happen at any given moment. And it's so sad to think about. Not only we are super connected to the mountains living in Charlotte, and now, especially with the fall ahead of us, I'm sure most of us were already planning to go to the mountains, look at the foliage, enjoy fall in the mountains. Even I, the summer girl, I love to go to the mountains now in the fall. And it breaks my heart, not only the destruction, but to think about that now, I would say it's their high season to make money. It's the fall.
Well, not
Blue
even
Ridge,
the fall.
Asheville, everything.
Not even just the tourism of the fall, but
Everything.
I think about the Christmas farms. What will that look like this year throughout Western North Carolina?
I know. It's insane.
And here's the other thing about it. We're talking about the business side of things right now, but there's the actual practical side of people's lives. When someone I spoke with up there from the Spruce Pine area on Saturday, I got in touch with him late Saturday night, and he just was devastated because he got in touch with his mom. Between Marion and Spruce Pine is kind of where their family's at. He's grown up there multiple generations. Grandpa's still alive. And his mom answers the phone when he happens to get through during the storm, and she answers screaming. She's screaming. And are you okay? Are you okay? And everyone, it's very panicky. And his mom starts telling him that the neighbor's house collapsed. The husband of the neighbor was inside the house still. And so his dad and a couple others that were there were trying to get him out. He didn't make it. And so that's one story, right? That's just one story of when we look at places online, Chimney Rock, when we look at
Lake Lure,
the dam situation, all of it, right? Combine all of it. We're talking about multiple territories. We're talking about Asheville and Boone. And just to say the two common ones people are going to know, not to mention all the many towns in between with a lot of people and a lot of lives. And the homeless population, too, is also something that is going to become, obviously a real conversation, hopefully as part of some of this, because that's also very real, too.
Yeah. And I think about, again, the mountains. Last summer, I was there thinking about every little I mean, we are talking about Boone and Asheville, which are like cities or towns. And there were so many tiny little villages. Like we left the main roads just to enjoy the mountains. And there are so many very hard to get to in the summer villages and houses that are in the middle of nowhere. And now I wonder, are these people okay? Can they ask for help? Can they be found? It's pretty.
And a lot of it we won't know the answer
Upsetting.
to right away.
I know.
That's the other part that's wild about this, right? There's communication kind of, from certain channels that are working, but there's a lot of people without connectivity
Yes.
throughout the region right now too. So just reminder to be grateful. And if you know somebody in the region, try giving them a call. I'm not saying you're going to get through, right? Everyone's trying to communicate, but when you lose everything, I imagine in that moment, just, if you think about to the time that you were just in need, right? We all have those moments in life when we've just been in need. Just being able to talk to somebody almost can help too. You know what I mean? And kind of just know that they're not alone. Almost,
Yeah.
It's one of those moments.
And I don't know how, if it's okay for me to talk, but anyway, if you can help. Yesterday, I brought some donations to the Cornelius Police Department, and I was very touched because there were many people delivering. And by coincidence, when I was there, two older ladies that don't know each other, two cars, older ladies with donations, and they couldn't get the stuff out of the car. So I was helping with another lady, but they were making the effort. Even though they couldn't carry the stuff, they were there donating. So it's the beauty of, I guess, if you can call it a beauty of a moment like this, that people get together to help. At the same time, the same way you see the best of human behavior when something like this happened, you also see the worst. Because I saw on social media people saying, for instance, Lake Lure that has been devastated, or even Asheville, many people saying, well, many of these houses are the second home for the rich people, so who cares? Which is like a horrible thing. While there are so many people getting together to help, there are people saying, well, it's someone's second home, who cares? Which is horrible.
And the other side of it too is when you want to provide help, and it's like your hesitation, where you're fine mentioning obviously Cornelius Police Department, right? We know that's a reliable organization if they're saying, hey, you can bring stuff here provided to, and so you definitely want to be cautious in these times too. We're already hearing stories from some people talking about selling bottled water up there for astronomical prices, and those types of things starting to happen quickly, because you're talking about no gas too. You got to remember, and a lot of people up there run on these independent systems that aren't tied in to major, municipal infrastructure. So just use caution in that as well. The Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce, Bill Russell put out, they're collecting for McDowell County specifically right now, and do want to put a plug on this because they're saying they believe it's inevitable for the water treatment plant to give out and lose power in essence. Now, whether or not that ends up happening, maybe it doesn't end up happening. Hopefully it doesn't. But in case they want to be prepared, you can drop stuff off at Payroll Plus in Cornelius off 21, right near Catawba and 21 where it comes together. Cases or jugs of water, diapers, baby formula, baby supplies, MREs, protein bars, non-perishable food items, and feminine hygiene products. They were talking about that those would be great for McDowell County in particular, in potential preparation for the water treatment facility losing power and them not having it that there.
And just one thing about the food that I thought about when I got it, make sure it's not food that needs to be warmed up or prepared, even though it doesn't go bad. Like pasta, you can't do anything if you don't have gas or power. So protein bar, tuna with a pop-up can, things that are easily, that you don't need to cook or prepare.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more of today's Real Talk, hosted by Claudia Ogrizek and Justin Ckezepis, in just a moment on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
It feels so wrong to talk about having much better weather here while our friends up in the mountains really struggle after Hurricane Helene. Nonetheless, though, we'll still keep a low rain chance around for the evening and into our Tuesday. Just an isolated shower or storm possible. We'll drop back tonight into the mid-60s. Partly cloudy near 80 and an isolated shower for our Tuesday coming up. Drier weather by the middle of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Greystone Lodge in Boone.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Brookdale Village in Huntersville presents their free concert series Live Under the Oaks on Friday. The Village is open all day for shopping and dining, with Ben Gatlin taking the stage powered by Waves Entertainment at 6 p.m. Bring your chairs and enjoy on-site beverages from Red Rocks. Live Under the Oaks with Ben Gatlin kicks off at 6 p.m. Friday. The popular Piedmont Healthcare Friday After 5 concert series offers free entertainment to residents, neighbors, and visitors in downtown Statesville. This Friday, the Megan Doss concert will be held on West Broad Street in front of Mitchell Community College from 6 p.m. to 8:30. Beer, wine, soft drinks, and food will be available for purchase beginning at 5 p.m. Bring your chairs and enjoy a night of music from country singer Megan Doss at Friday After 5 in downtown Statesville. NASCAR returns to Charlotte Motor Speedway for their annual fall weekend in October on the Roval. The Xfinity Series holds the Drive for the Cure 250 on Saturday, October 12th. The Cup Series competes in the Bank of America Roval 400 on Sunday, October 13th. Weekend ticket packages as well as daily tickets are available. Also, check out deals for military service members, college students, suites, the Champions Pavilion, the Indoor Clubhouse, Terrace Box, 4-packs, and more. Don't miss any of the entertainment, including Eli Young Band and Tim Duggar concerts before racing's royalty duels for Roval supremacy. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for information, tickets, and details. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, October 5th through November 24th. Eat, drink, be merry at the Renaissance Festival. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it!
Now, more of today's Real Talk with Claudia Ogrizek and Justin Ckezepis on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Today's Real Talk, the show focused on North Carolina real estate. Justin Ckezepis, Claudia Ogrizek of Compass Real Estate. We spent the first segment of the show talking and remembering and thinking of the wonderful people and families and lives across Western North Carolina and how you never know when it could happen, you know, in general in life, whatever it throws at you, right? We don't control those kinds of things. What we can control is how we react and how we respond. And so it's great to see great organizations coming together to support in many different, hopefully new relationships and long-lasting relationships. And everyone can play a part in some way, shape, or form. Some people have the ability to buy stuff. Some people have the ability to, you know, volunteer their time. Some people have the ability to connect. All of the many different things it will take because it will take time. You know, I-40 is certainly a connector. We talk about transportation all the time here. Constantly. Mass transportation. Look at the sales tax referendum that's potentially coming up, you know, that is coming up now for Mecklenburg County next year. When we talk about things like infrastructure and all that, this is a very real moment to come together as a people and show how, you know, we have the potential to not eliminate the pain, but limit the pain as much as possible.
And this is one of those moments that make me very proud to be an adopted American, because I know the American people do it, and we are already getting together to help. So I think it's beautiful, and it makes me very proud to be American.
Now, you were telling me, too, that in Brazil 6 months ago, there was a similar type of weather scenario and the need and all that, and it comes very
pretty
fast.
much the same, which is kind of crazy because if you think about it, we don't have hurricanes in Brazil, but it's kind of, I always say Brazil is kind of a mirror, right? So the south of Brazil, I'm from the south, is actually kind of the north here. But it was also the beginning of fall in Brazil, so it was around end of April, beginning of May, and they had, in 5 days, almost 30 inches of rain, which is pretty much a third of what should happen in the whole year. So many cities were completely underwater. Also mountain, some of the areas in the mountains. And then after the end, it went back to the lower part of it, which could happen in Lake Norman, by the way. I'm a little... but almost 200 people died. Many people lost everything. And to make it worse, the city that would be the hub had its airport completely underwater. So it was even hard to, not only the roads were destroyed, but then to find places for planes, and because it was a much larger area than here. So it was very, and of course I knew in Brazil people were getting together to help, not counting on the government as much, unfortunately. And I was upset because, like, what could I do from here, right? So, but yes, same thing, similar nature, showing how strong it can be.
And the other side, again, is that life does go on. So we have to look at the market. We have to see what's going on here. Again, there will be many effects from Western North Carolina, but in the immediate, there are still people coming to move here. I mean, there's still people looking to come here. Even within a major event like this, there will still continue to be people trying to come here. And there will be people wanting to buy and go up and bigger houses, downsize to smaller houses here locally, and that will continue. What's the market been like? Any shift last week prior to the weekend as far as thinking about what you're seeing as far as buyers, sellers still continuing on, I would imagine?
I am having, I almost feel like we're going to have more listings because I have 2 brand new listings hitting the market this weekend. We were actually supposed to photograph on Friday, and everything got postponed for Saturday and today. And I had more people call me to talk about listing and getting the house ready in different time, like some at the end of the year, some already talking about spring next year. But I've had a few people reach out about listing, which is interesting.
And sticking around after listing or taking off?
I would say both. I would say half and half. Some people just want to move back, which happens, I would say, quite often, especially younger people. Sometimes what I see is like younger people come here because they want to raise the kids here, and then they try to convince their parents to move. Parents don't want to come, and then they go back because they want the kids to be close to the grandparents. And then the kind of the older people that come for a while, many of them are kind of going to the beach. Not Florida, though. They want to be here in North and South Carolina. So Wilmington, Myrtle Beach.
We got good beaches here, North and South Carolina.
Yeah, I think they still want, which is crazy for me, but they still want the winter. So they want to be by the ocean, but they don't want to be in the heat of Florida the whole time. So they are choosing Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington. So there are many people, I would say 60 plus, that are moving to the beach. And the younger people, many times, they're younger people coming to Charlotte, the buyers, and then sellers going back to their home state, city, to be close to the grandparents that refuse to come.
And that's families still wanting to be connected, but that's okay. That's how life will take you sometimes. For the sellers going to the market, are they move-in ready homes, or do they not have to be? Even doesn't matter in this market right now.
You know how I am. Actually, one of my listings, the one that was photographed on Saturday, my clients already moved. They went to the new house, and then Saturday they went back to get stuff from the garage, and they had no idea I had the house staged.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, oh, did you stage the house? I think, we might want to come back. And I said, look, I think it matters to get the house ready. So we had it painted, carpets are professionally washed, and then it's staged, and it looks awesome.
And so you convinced them that they want to get their house back now that it's staged?
They're like, I think, we don't. Of course, they bought a super nice house with a huge lot. That was their dream from day one. And I always say this was a first-time buyer, one of my very first clients. And I knew he wanted a large lot and everything. He couldn't afford back then. This was 2019 when he bought it. I said, buy your first house, stay in it for a little bit, start saving money, get a better job or whatever, and then you're going to get your dream house. And now it's happening. And actually, not only that, he was able to afford the new house. He could, in theory, keep the one he has now, but he is like, I don't have the landlord thing in me. I don't want to worry about a tenant. So no, I'm going to sell the house. So We're going to sell the house with the proceed. He's going to recast his loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly an option in the marketplace. Rates ticking down. Are they still hearing as if they're ticking down? Is that word on the street? Or are we leveling off, going up? What are we doing?
I don't think so for now. People are hopeful, but I think they will come down, but not in the next few months. I think everybody should be thankful that it's around 6.15, I would say. It depends on many factors. Don't quote me on that, but around 6.15, and I think they're going to be there for a few months. So don't wait. Buy a house now.
Because you think price go up?
Prices will go. It's market. It's how the market works. More buyers. Now I forgot. See, that's the problem about being bilingual. Sometimes you forget both languages.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
There
exactly. Supply and demand. More people can afford a house. Of course, prices will go up. This is how it happens. Supply and demand. So buy now.
Do you think we ever catch up on the number of units North Carolina needs to stabilize a market again? Or is that we have to do our best and recalibrate in 10 more years?
Honestly, I hope we'd never do. And I do love working with buyers, but I almost feel like if we get to the point, maybe means North Carolina is not attractive anymore. Like if we can have I know it's healthy to have a well-balanced market, but at the same time, if we do, then it means that people are going somewhere else. So I think I do want maybe a little towards sellers, but not too much.
You're okay with it?
A little bit, yes. And I do love my buyers. Don't get me wrong, but I think I don't know. I feel like in the long term, having a slightly towards sellers market is better.
Well, we'll find out more or less. We're going to have that in the last
Yes.
segment, whether or not there are more or less units active and coming soon via Canopy MLS on the market this week compared to last. Always looking 500,000 or less by county, starting with Mecklenburg County. 1,700 and some change we were at last week, 1,738?
Yes.
All right. You think more or less? You want to guess now or no?
I'm going to say more.
Okay, you're going to say more.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll find out about that. Also, Maintenance Monday. You got a maintenance
Yes,
tip
I
for
have.
us.
See?
Oh, that's
I
what
have
this
it right
is.
here.
Okay.
It's inspired.
Oh, wow. There's a whole box with stuff
Yes,
inside of it and
yes.
things to have and all
because I
kinds of
thought
things.
about not that it's a nice thing, but because of what happened this weekend, I think it's important for us to talk about this, which is kind of your own maintenance in your house. So I brought some
Stuff.
examples of things I think everybody should have at home waiting in case something happens.
Okay. So Maintenance Monday, we'll talk about that as well toward the end of the show. Okay, interest rates, we think that they're kind of stopping. They're not, going to go down in the immediate again necessarily, depending on what the Fed decides to do at whatever point they decide to do it. But the market will continue on coming into the holiday season. So traditionally, do you see a lot of people moving in the holiday season? A lot of people selling, a lot of people buying? Is there a lot of movement typically during the holiday season?
I wouldn't say a lot, but enough that I sold many houses when I was literally on like Christmas break, New Year's Day. So there are people that are still buying and selling. That's why I take a vacation, but I bring my computer. So it is a little slower because people are focused on the holidays, but whoever wants to sell, whoever wants to buy, they'll do it on Christmas Day. I've sold on Thanksgiving Day, on New Year's Day, and talked about offers on Christmas and the other holidays. But I'm talking about the main ones that we celebrate, kind of. I've worked all of them. So people are out there. If the right house hits the market, believe me, I will get a call and I'll be on my computer putting an offer.
It feels so wrong to talk about having much better weather here while our friends up in the mountains really struggle after Hurricane Helene. Nonetheless, though, we'll still keep a low rain chance around for the evening and into our Tuesday. Just an isolated shower or storm possible. We'll drop back tonight into the mid-60s. Partly cloudy, near 80, and an isolated shower for our Tuesday coming up. Drier weather by the middle of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. our meteorologist, Chase Myers.
This is Brad with Lake Norman Patio and Game Rooms in Mooresville. If you haven't been in the store, come check us out. See the highest-end outdoor furniture, game room supplies you can find anywhere in North Carolina. 847 Brawley School Road in Mooresville. LKNpatio.com, outdoor living at its finest.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Family, quality, value. With a legacy of excellence for over 40 years, Horn Heating and Air Conditioning will make your house feel like a home. Welcome home to the feeling of HornHVAC.com.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell speaking to a business economist group this hour in Nashville says the U.S. economy is in solid shape and that more interest rate cuts are in the pipeline, but they'll happen over time, and there is no rush to cut rates right now, and that is not what Wall Street was hoping to hear. So stocks started edging even lower. Right now, the Dow is down almost 300 points, about 0.2% lower. The Nasdaq down 0.5%, so is the S&P 500. No doubt sales of EVs are not growing like before for a number of reasons. One of them, the expense of putting a charger in your home. But now Ford, looking to boost sales of its EV lineup, will pay to have a charger put in at your home. And if you just had one done, it'll give you $2,000 back. And because of record high home prices and elevated mortgage rates, just 2.5% of all homes changed owners this year. Redfin says that's the lowest level in at least 30 years of record keeping. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Today's Real Talk continues now. Here are your hosts, Claudia Ogrizek and Justin Ckezepis on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Today's Real Talk, the show focused on North Carolina real estate. Justin Ckezepis, Claudia Ogrizek of Compass Real Estate. Was that right there ready for you? Oh wow, her maintenance Monday. I'll be honest with you, it's a basket of many things that you what Claudia says you must have at your home. This is serious stuff over here.
It is. I'm a pro.
We'll talk about maintenance Monday here. Oh wow, I'm blinded by the light. You can always watch to hear what's going on in the studio on the WSIC News app, wherever you get your socials, and pretty much anywhere in the world you can pick us up. So. Talking about the market, looking at kind of forward thinking, okay, supply and demand, does the equation ever balance out? It's seeming like Claudia doesn't want it to no matter what. And so when you're thinking about these sellers who then have the opportunity, right? Because we always talk about, hey, it might be a nice idea to move, but where are you going to go? If you don't have a big life change event, if you don't have a big job, if you don't have a family to, move toward, right? If any of those factors that, we see as common reasons why people are moving, then to stay in the area, what is that conversation like? Is there enough supply, or the prices have come up enough on the bigger house that they can buy the smaller house and the market is balanced out that way, seemingly, square footage wise, or how? What's their reaction in the market right now?
So actually, after I talked to you and now listening to you, and I'm remembering and I'm thinking about more people at first when I said, "Oh, I got some sellers call," like I'm remembering more. I don't know how many calls I got this weekend about more people. So one of the examples, why sell? One of them, family, nothing changed at all. Nothing happened. They just figured that the house is too big for them. So, and they're young, but they're like, why maintain this large house if we don't need to? So they will likely put the house on the market. We're going to talk about it. We might do the private exclusive for now, so it doesn't have, it's not out there to the public. But if someone comes with the right offer, we actually also have just Compass has something called Make Me Move. I haven't set it up, but basically my clients will be able to put on my system, hey, if someone pays whatever, $700 for my house, of course they cannot go with a crazy
$1
number.
billion.
Yes. But if they do something that is doable, it can be on the system. And if someone is willing to pay, they don't have to sell it, but it's there. Like, hey, if someone came to my house, by the way, if someone comes to my house and writes,
it's an invitation for offers.
Yes, it's an invitation. Say, hey, if you pay this amount, I will likely consider it. So one of the examples, nothing changed, because yes, most people sell a house if something changed in their lives. But I got one of them say, no, it's nothing. We just don't want to maintain. And I had a listing I sold a few months ago. Same thing. They're like, we love the house, but we, kids with sports, we're never at home. So why keep this large home?
So that's a unique option for sellers that exist in the marketplace. And we talk about the limited supply for buyers. And I would imagine, I wonder, or I guess I'm curious, does it make it harder or maybe more easy? Are you seeing more non-traditional structured deals? And I'll give you an example. In 2012, when Debbie and I bought our first place, it was a townhouse in Cornelius and Oakhurst. We did it on her teacher's salary. That's what the pricing was back then, believe it or not, which is just wild to think about. We did a lease with an option to purchase. Obviously, I was a broker, and I was able to come up with something unique in the marketplace at the time. 2012, if you think back to that, that was when North Carolina was on that road to recovery, if you would, right, from the financial crisis of 2008 and really 2009. Are you seeing anything unique like that in the marketplace at all for buyers, or any opportunity there? That doesn't necessarily bode well for buyers, maybe because in that particular instance, because that's for if it was not a high demand time. But are there unique opportunities for buyers that you're seeing?
Yes, I think more and more and more we do have loans based on bank statements so you don't need to show your tax returns. Yes, they have higher interest, but sometimes it helps, especially people that are LLCs and put every possible expense
so
in
investors
their company.
In particular, DSCR
Not necessarily.
loans.
There are many people that have LLCs and self-employed people. They open an LLC, they put everything they can as an expense. So if the banks look at their income tax, they don't make enough money. But if you look at their bank, the statements, you see that they make money and they can afford a house. So I see more and more people doing that, at least to get the house at first. And then once their whole financial situation gets clearer and nicer, then they refi with their conventional loan. So I see that happening a lot. Many people doing that. So many different options. And that is why I tell every potential buyer, anyone that talks to me, stop trying to guess if you can buy a house or not. Talk to people that know how to do it. Worst case scenario, you're going to hear you're not ready. And best case scenario, you have 5 different options. Make your decision. You can buy. There are many options for people to get like unconventional loans. Now, lease to buy, lease to purchase, I'm not a big fan because I don't even know, but there must be some percentage of people that can actually do it when the time comes. I would say 90% of people can never actually purchase the house at the end of the agreement.
There's a risk to it for sure, and that's one of the seller
risk.
side risks of it. If you enter it into agreement, make you plans based on it, and then all of a sudden that deal can't be completed, you think about the contingent style offers that we see. In essence, that's one that certainly can play out. So that's a cautionary tale for the seller side for sure.
It's the same. I mean, not, but since we're talking about different kinds of loan, the assumable VA loan, my 2 listings hitting the market this weekend are VA loans. So in theory, they are assumable. And I was talking to some of the lenders I work with, and they said, well, they are assumable, but the servicer doesn't want anyone assuming a 3.125 loan because they're not making money. So they will drag the thing as much as they possibly can. So the person trying to buy gives up and gets a conventional loan because there's no way to ensure that they are doing what they're supposed to. The government maybe could, since it's a VA loan, the government maybe could put some rules of how fast they have to do it, but there's nobody watching them. So they will take their time. Sometimes it can take 6 months, which is impossible because who can wait 6 months to sell a house? But there are options, many great options, even if they're not ideal because they have higher interest rates. I always say you have to put we talked about, I love Excel spreadsheets, which is crazy. Because, 20 years ago when I was an English teacher as a foreign language, an Excel spreadsheet was not part of my life at all. So when I started working in the finances, I had to learn how to do it. I'm like, I don't know how to put anything on a spreadsheet. I didn't know. And now my life runs on spreadsheets. I love them. Planning a trip, everything goes, every single client, every client gets a spreadsheet to know how much money they're going to either put down or walk away with. And I always say, even if you are getting a higher interest loan for whatever reason in your life, is it bad credit score or unconventional non-Q loan, put on you're paying $200 more a month for that versus $2,000 in rent. Just see the numbers and make your choice and buy the house. Stop renting. I hate renting. I understand it's important for some people, but you're throwing your money in the garbage. Period. I don't know. Do you agree with me? As an investor, I love renters, but
the only thing would be if you can say to yourself that you do not believe you want to be here in a time frame less than 2 years.
2 years,
I
yes.
think that's
Yes,
is the equation I look at.
I agree.
There.
I always say 2 years. I agree with you.
And it's not financial advice. It's not anything like that. It's just the 2 years is the capital gains benchmark that exists as of this moment. Now, that is always subject to change. Again, that is not financial advice. It is a personal decision that when I think about things and I'm processing things, that's a factor for sure. But as far as if you believe you're going to be here more than 2 years, it's just, even if you bought in an area you didn't exactly love, it's still 2 years goes by very fast in reality. And even with what you could do in some instances still overnight, there are people still flipping properties, believe it or not. There are investors out here in this market and they're doing things.
I know. Oh, I know.
Because there's always an opportunity no matter the price in the marketplace. Because, for those who don't want to go through the traditional financing, that's where these non-traditional products come into play, which there are great lenders out there. And because they are options of products. They're real products. They're not scams. They're just a different type of loan that have different risk factors.
By the way, what's more impressive now that you said that, it's more and more, not only there are options, but I see the big lenders and the big brokers using the kind of loan that it was hard. Like, you have huge companies doing the bank statement, non-Q, everything. Big people. It's not a scam. But again, if you hear something, you're not sure, talk to someone you trust to see if it could be a scam. But there are many great products from reliable brokers. Crazy.
You got to have a reliable source in the equation. You need a professional that can help you walk through the process.
Me.
That's what Claudia's here for.
Yes.
Today's Real Talk. Coming back.
Stay with us. Today's Real Talk with Claudia Ogrizek and Justin Ckezepis will be back after these messages on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
It feels so wrong to talk about having much better weather here while our friends up in the mountains really struggle after Hurricane Helene. Nonetheless, though, we'll still keep a low rain chance around for the evening and into our Tuesday. Just an isolated shower or storm possible. We'll drop back tonight into the mid-60s. Partly cloudy, near 80, and an isolated shower for our Tuesday coming up. Drier weather by the middle of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Brookdale Village in Huntersville presents their free concert series Live Under the Oaks on Friday. The Village is open all day for shopping and dining, with Ben Gatlin taking the stage powered by Waves Entertainment at 6 p.m. Bring your chairs and enjoy on-site beverages from Red Rocks. Live Under the Oaks with Ben Gatlin kicks off at 6 p.m. Friday. The popular Piedmont Healthcare Friday After 5 concert series offers free entertainment to residents, neighbors, and visitors in downtown Statesville. This Friday, the Megan Doss concert will be held on West Broad Street in front of Mitchell Community College from 6 p.m. to 8:30. Beer, wine, soft drinks, and food will be available for purchase beginning at 5 p.m. Bring your chairs and enjoy a night of music from country singer Megan Doss at Friday After 5 in downtown Statesville. NASCAR returns to Charlotte Motor Speedway for their annual fall weekend in October on the Roval. The Xfinity Series holds the Drive for the Cure 250 on Saturday, October 12th. The Cup Series competes in the Bank of America Roval 400 on Sunday, October 13th. Weekend ticket packages as well as daily tickets are available. Also, check out deals for military service members, college students, suites, the Champions Pavilion, the Indoor Clubhouse, Terrace Box, 4-packs, and more. Don't miss any of the entertainment, including Eli Young Band and Tim Duggar concerts before racing's royalty duels for Roval supremacy. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for information, tickets, and details. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, October 5th through November 24th. Eat, drink, be merry at the Renaissance Festival. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it!
We're back with more of today's Real Talk with Claudia Ogrizek and Justin Ckezepis on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Today's Real Talk, the show focused on North Carolina real estate. Claudia Ogrizek, Justin Ckezepis. Another day has come and gone. Another day in real estate that you can't get back, but you can look forward to the future. Supply and demand, a very real stat that we've talked about many times. And so it's time for More or Less. Claudia Ogrizek. More or Less active and coming soon units on the market, 500,000 or less by county. Always looking at Mecklenburg County first. Last week, 1,738 active and coming soon units. This week, more or less.
I'm going to say more. I'm going to say about 1,750.
Claudia Ogrizek, you are pretty darn close. 1748. Really? Yeah, so it did go up.
Well, it's more, yeah.
Yeah, it
All
did
right.
go more. You almost got the bonus points for getting the exact number. 1,748. That's how many active and coming soon units, 500,000 or less, are on market in the Canopy MLS listed in the marketplace in Mecklenburg County, in a county of 1.1 million. So inching closer to 2,000 units under 500,000 on market.
That is crazy.
And so I always turn to in this moment, knowing how low supply is, the new construction queen, I need to talk to her for a second. What are we seeing out there? Where's the inventory at?
Guys, this is the moment, right? Because we are getting to the end of the year. So builders are really pushing because they need to sell. So I have seen crazy low interest rates being offered if you use their lender, which is fine. So they're offering low interest rates. They are offering closing costs. They are offering the fridge, things we haven't seen in a long time. Not all builders, number one, not all builders, not all regions. So don't try to get Cabarrus County deals depending on the school. Basically, it's always about the school district. So the hot schools, don't expect much. But if you're open to newer areas with great potential, the time is now. At the end of the year, they have to sell. They have to meet the numbers at the end of the year, the balance, whatever they have in mind. So take advantage. And remember, please, because I was talking to someone as I was coming here, if you go to a new construction site to look at a house all innocent to then talk to your realtor, most of them will say, hey, no, you didn't come with your agent. You cannot be represented right now, and then you lose your agent, and you don't, in theory, or most of the times, the builder will pay your agent's commission, and you get no benefits of not having an agent. So if you're interested in new construction, call me or call your realtor if you already have one, and let your agent make the connections, schedule a showing, and you go and you talk, and we know how to like get the most from the builder.
New construction is nice because everything's brand new and you get all the nice
warranty,
picking. And,
yes.
Oh, love it.
Even though my clients, this has been like a weird, it's in terms of quality, I hate to say that, but it's been the worst I've ever seen in terms of, yes, warranty, every single builder, warranty calls happening again, all builders, but which is not what people want when they buy a house, but at least it's under warranty. So yes, it's a headache of all kinds. We have leaks, we have yard problems, grading, but at least it's under warranty. So everything in the house is new and you shouldn't worry. But if there's a problem, call the warranty and they will fix it, and it's not out of your pocket. So it's still good. Not ideal what I see this year happening. Not ideal in terms of repairs, but it's under warranty. So it's not out of your pocket. It's not using your home insurance, which will be higher if you have a claim. It's the builder's job to do it.
Well, inevitably, maintenance will be required, even if you buy new construction now. So
always.
Maintenance Monday, what you got for us?
So unfortunately, I'm talking about it because of what happened in the mountains and the western North Carolina. It's like emergency kits. So I know we are on the radio and I'm showing for people that are watching, but fire extinguisher, I recommend having a few around the house.
Okay.
Never know if you lose power. You have to think of like you lose power, you lose water. Mm-hmm. What do you need? The juice thing for iPhones.
The battery block.
Battery blocks is how you call it.
Yeah.
I know I only have a Christmas candle, but
strong.
Matches, and candles. What else? I brought protein bars. Yeah. Easy. Extra batteries in
batteries
case you
is
need.
a big one. You got to have the batteries.
I have a bunch. Batteries, of
especially
course.
The 9 volts you got there.
Water.
Yeah, bottled water, crucial.
I have these that you can, and they last forever. They are rechargeable. Of course, you have to, but these are amazing, and you can put them around the house.
Yeah.
Very good. Like a light, because flashlights are good, but they don't, if you are in a room. What else? Baby wipes for all kind of needs.
Sure.
Oh, and things that might be silly, but cards, books, and things like that.
No, for sure. To help pass the time,
if you are 2, 3, 4 days without power, we are all, whether you like it or not, we are all addicted to our phones, TVs, and then you don't have anything. Have games prepared to play.
Learn real quick what it's like without technology.
Yes.
My gosh.
So you said you have your emergency. Do you have anything that I didn't show here?
So, no, I think you covered the gambit. Obviously, you have one of each, right? So that as far as scale goes, that's an individual household's decision right there. And just to be honest, there are additional things, right? And this isn't a plug for anything, not. But, ammunition, those types of things are certainly a conversation and personal decision that people have to make as well, as far as firearms and things like that, as far as what you want to have. That's something that's not in the basket right there, I would say. And you mentioned that we talked about before, like protein bars are a great example of like you want foods, but you want stuff that doesn't have to be heated up.
Yes.
As much as you want to provide the hot chocolate powder, stuff. But if you got to boil water and then mix it up and put it all together and those kinds of things, that's what makes it more difficult. Or even, ramen is probably a good safe bet. Top ramen, the real easy noodles, like cup of noodles type thing. As far as if you get boiled water, then or hot enough water, then you can have some more substance and things like that too. That's another.
And you can have now. I'm thinking, but again, if you get a flood, you can't. But like those tiny gas thingies with a burner.
Little mini propane tanks type
propane,
things.
Yes. But these are just some ideas.
So I stick with charcoal grills, right? That's the other reason right there. You can get that thing going, get them chicken wings.
But some, you have to kind of hope for the best, but get ready. I don't think you have to be ready for the end of the world, right? It's not like you need 100,000 gallons of water, but be ready. And being a realtor, I kind of have my survival realtor kit in my car all the time. With water, something to eat, because I never know if I'm going to be stranded somewhere. So I do have many of these that I carry with me at all times, to be honest.
There's two things in my car I do have in my car because it was a lesson I was taught a few months back about you just never know what you come up on. A tourniquet is one thing I have that's like if you had a really severe bleed, you can take care of that. And then one of those little devices that can bust the window even if like the door couldn't open or anything like that. I do have one of those in the vehicle as well. Yeah, something like that. So it's not something that you want people to have to really spend a lot of time thinking about, but one simple act of putting together a single Tupperware like this, right, could make a difference in a particular certain area. Yeah.
They went bankrupt, do you know?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Plastic bin. What's
Help
the appropriate term?
I don't know.
Hey, there's
but yeah, everybody calls it Tupperware. And someone said that they're so good that nobody needs to buy them.
That's right.
They never.
The name. That's it.
But yeah, I think it's important. And if people want to comment on the show, something else that we might not be thinking about that could be useful, they have used in the past, but I like the other maybe fever stuff.
Yeah, Tylenol.
But have it in your house.
Neosporin,
think about
Band-Aids, first aid kit is definitely first aid kit would be the other one I would
think
say
about
for
your
sure.
house, and more importantly, and I know nobody knew how bad it would be, but trust when people say evacuate, leave, just leave. Don't play with, maybe you wouldn't leave. You look like someone that wouldn't leave. You made a face now.
It depends. I mean, it depends. Like if it was serious enough of a warning to leave, you know what I mean? I guess that's a factor too. There's a difference between like the default setting is to say, warning on this versus, hey, we need to get out of this. Those are two different things, I think. So
would you say voluntary evacuation? Would you do it?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Voluntary evacuation.
Mandatory.
Mandatory. You have to. I mean, you're supposed to. So it's I mean, you have to. It's worth it to do it. Even if your life's changed for a day, I'd rather change it for a day than forever.
Yes, yes. And now I don't know if you have time, but just one thing about Lake Norman, I don't know exactly how fast or how they are kind of controlling, but the water will come to our area, right? It has to come to our area. On Saturday, I was off Catawba. Now I forgot the name. It's like a little island that there are some houses at the end of 73, and the water was pretty close to the street level. And this was Saturday. So I'm just saying, if you live by, and did you see the boats and the docks?
Oh, yeah.
So people around Lake Norman, I would say, just listen, don't take it for granted, be careful, just be ready.
Yeah.
Because the water will eventually.
Well, it all has to go to the ocean.
Yes.
It flows from the mountains down to the
has to.
ocean. That's how water works. And
Yes.
so it's a big cycle. I don't know if you remember that one from science class, but it's clouds. They bring it up, that comes down,
I
and
was
it goes
paying
down.
attention to
And,
that
it
one,
keeps coming
for
up
sure.
all the way around.
Yes.
And there's definitely a lot of rescue efforts still underway. And the evaluation for all hasn't even begun. There's some that haven't even started.
Do I have time? Guys, be careful. If you are especially in the affected areas, many closings will have to be delayed. So talk to your attorney, talk to your lender, talk to your realtor, homeowner's insurance, because many times the appraiser will have to go back to the house to see if the house still exists. So many of the closings will have to be delayed. If you haven't talked to the people taking care of your deal, do it now. Do it as soon as you can.
Yeah, because even Iredell County has been listed in some of these emergency service areas and another place, the flood watches that are still going on for some.
Call your realtor, call your lender right now, the attorney, everybody. Call everyone.
Either way, just call somebody and say, hey,
Yes.
give them a hug, because you never know.
And help. Help as much as you can. I knew I wanted to talk.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W264CU Statesville.